Amatsa estu testa minchia. So I penned an open letter to the Mafia, and I'm going to read it. Dear Mafia, we need to talk. Yeah, I know it's awkward. You've got rules, codes, honor, loyalty. And here I am, just some nobody, some poor schmuck writing to you about the clown show that is Joey Dracula Merlino and Bitch Tits Perry. But seriously, somebody has to say what I'm about to say. It's time for Merlino to end. And I don't mean a quiet retirement in Boca kind of end. I mean, he and his short, fat, drug-addled sidekick need to go on a permanent vacation, preferably to a place without poker tables, cocktail servers, or microphones for podcasts. You know, let them just have the coke, meth, and their hands in each other's pants. Some deserted island where they can fornicate like two lovers. And they know they are. Sandpaper and dildos for both of them. However, I'll let you figure out which one of them is the power top and which one is the power bottom. And let's be honest, these two have ruined the tradition of organized crime. The mystique gone, the respect gone, the terror, now it's laughable. You used to command fear with quiet competence and subtle menace. Merlino, he commands attention by wearing sequins, doing cocaine off toothless South Philadelphia whores' assholes, and yelling like Dracula auditioning for South Philly's Got Talent, the mob edition. And the short, fat sidekick, what a gem. What a gem. A little boy who waddles behind Joey, waving imaginary authority, threatening bartenders, club owners, and pigeons. Anybody who dares exist near him, fueled by paranoia and powder of unknown origin. And together they are a disaster. And leather jackets, a two-man circus who can make the Godfather weep softly into his fucking cannoli. And now here's the part that really boggles the mind. They just keep talking, shit talking, constantly. Joey opens his mouth like he's dropping divine wisdom while the world collectively laughs and rolls its eyes. Podcasts, interviews, I'm untouchable. Speeches, cheesesteaks, I can go anywhere. Every word is a mockery of the code, the family, and everybody with an IQ over 20 but not beyond 50, because let's be honest, you got to be slow to even understand him. The motherfucker can't even operate his fucking speak and spell. And so here's the deal, Mafia. It's time to put Dracula and Bitch Tits Doughboy out to the pasture. Joey and his waddling Molotov cocktail of a sidekick, they've done enough damage. They've destroyed the mystique. They've turned centuries of terror into public comedy sketches and somehow convinced themselves that people still give a fuck about their bullshit fear and their alleged respect. Spoiler alert, nobody gives a fuck. Do the world and yourselves a favor. Give these two a one-way ticket to oblivion. Let them go on that long overdue vacation. No microphones, no goons, no sequins, no podcasts, just quiet. You know, peace and tranquility. You know, together, tanning on top of each other. And whoever finishes first gets the one remaining donut in the box. And I think we all know who that winner would be. Maybe a borderline homoerotic therapy session for the two before Joey's ego permanently ruptures, or his heart from all the coke he does. Because right now, they are the living embodiment of what happens when ego, cocaine, hidden feelings, and stupidity collide. And it's hilarious. It's horrifying and it's embarrassing. Mostly for the mafia. And I enclose this letter by saying sincerely, somebody who misses the days when the mafia didn't look like a drunk Dracula skit with informant tendencies and the walking epitome of a fucking jerk off. Maybe you can grab a few of them string bands down there and let them insert some trumpets into their asses so at least we won't have to hear the mumbling, stuttering effects of two guys high on junk claiming they can go anywhere. And so here's the indictment. And the nations once terrified by whispers and shadows, one man chose a microphone. This is not a trial of murder. This is not a trial of violence. This is a trial of ego, noise, embarrassment, and terminal self-importance. And ladies and gentlemen of the invisible jury, we present to you count one, aggravated ego with intent to broadcast high. The defendant is charged with believing he matters far more than he actually does, and expressing this belief loudly, repeatedly, and without interruption. And the evidence includes talking as if the world is waiting for his opinion, confusing attention with relevance, mistaking being recognized for being respected. And we will have an expert witness who is a psychologist who has said this is a textbook case of main character syndrome with delusions of permanence. Count 2, destruction of Mystique in the first degree. For decades, Mystique required silence, restraint, and not acting like Dracula with Wi-Fi. The defendant instead chose interviews, podcasts, public commentary, and acting like the mafia was a fucking lifestyle brand. And we brought in a historian who said, and I quote, he turned fear into merch. But what about count 3, conspiracy to talk nonstop as if anybody gives two fucks? The court finds overwhelming evidence that the defendant spoke when silence was required, explained when nobody asked, and clarified things that did not need explaining. Count 4, association with a perpetually confused hype goblin who's secretly gay. Also indicted, the sidekick, alias the short one, bitch tits, the loud one. Occupation, stupidity. Skill set, none. Confidence, unjustified. Charged with issuing empty threats to inanimate objects. Believing in proximity equals power. And thinking volume or loudness is an authority. And we had a character witness come forth, and he said, he makes promises like a broken vending machine makes snacks, loudly and accurately, and never delivers. Count 5, friendliness with malicious intent. The defendant is charged with being trusted by nobody, feared by nobody, respected by mirrors only. Every ally is temporary. Every friendship is transactional. Every room gets quieter after he leaves, not out of fear, but relief. Count 6, crimes against tradition. The defendant treated rules as suggestions, treated history as a prop, treated restraint as weakness. count 7, or excuse me, 6 or 7, I don't know which one we're on, the defendant continues to operate under the delusion that he can go anywhere freely. He is still central to anything, and time hasn't already been moved on. And so we put forth Exhibit A, irrelevance. Exhibit B, laughter. Exhibit C, nobody's asking. And the verdict. The judge says, on all counts, the defendant is found guilty of confusing noise with power, attention, and importance, and survival with success, and all while being closeted, raging drunk, and a cokehead. And so the court orders permanent retirement from being taken seriously, lifetime probation under the supervision of public ridicule, mandatory silence in rooms that matter, eternal relevance only as a cautionary example, no microphones, no mystique, no audience, just time and mirrors and cocaine. And so the truth is, some men are taken down by enemies. Others, they are undone by the slow, unstoppable force their own mouth and stupidity create. And welcome to the Joey Merlino Show. Ammazza e stu testa de minchia.